I wanted to watch the Good Work CoffeeZilla if it's any good. Because you know what? Actually, it's hyper relevant right now. So it's called Is Crypto Legit Now? Which is very funny because we're in a bit of a brewing crypto winter. We're seeing Bitcoin drop steadily day after day. Ethereum drop steadily day after day. Bitcoin around 90K. Crypto Renaissance for the win trust. I wouldn't rule out one more pump, dude. I've been thinking a lot about this lately. Let me go full screen here for a second. I've been thinking a lot about this. And I know there's a lot of warning signs right now. There's a lot of things blinking red. I know that there's been a pretty weak day in tech stocks the past few weeks. There's like sense that people are, a lot of articles about things being overstretched. Most people saying AI bubble. But man, I just get the sense that we're about to turn on the greatest spigot of liquidity that this country has ever seen. I just get the sense that rather than allow anything to go down, I think we're going to have inflation. I think the printer's going to fire up in a way that we've never seen before. I really feel that. I'm starting to feel it more and more. I think we're going to have just an absolute gargantuan use of QE and printing. There's more and more discrete ways. Like quantitative easing was the public kind of embarrassing, hard to explain way where they just print money to buy bonds, like these reverse repo facilities, and they're finding all these ways to inject money into failing banks, into just anywhere they can squeeze liquidity. And it wouldn't surprise me if there was another pump.
Defines cryptocurrency as a digital or virtual
is this like
currency
just an overview of
that exists
crypto?
on a decentralized network of computers. The first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was invented by an anonymous person or group named Satoshi Nakamoto after they published a paper in 2008 describing their vision for a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash that would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a
Have you guys ever seen Satoshi Nakamoto and Squeaks in the same room? Ever notice how Squeaks supposedly had a job that he was fired from right at the exact same time as the crypto white paper was being written? Squeaks somehow can afford to live in New York despite having 0 subs because not a single person's ever subbed to his content. Have you noticed that? Is it because of his gigantic Bitcoin mining collection?
President Executive Order, the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a digital asset stockpile. Congress passed a bill with flying bipartisan support to legalize stablecoins, which are cryptocurrencies whose value is tied to the US dollar. So basically crypto dollars. Then the House passed a different bill, again with flying bipartisan.
Just want to be so clear about what's going on with the Genius Act and with the stable coins. All right. It is a transparent attempt by Scott Besson, I guess. I mean, anyone who knows. Okay. You take your money and you're like, I don't want to buy US debt anymore. I don't want to buy US treasuries. This is what we need you to buy to keep our government functioning, basically. But the world is buying less US debt. So instead, we're leaning heavily into this Genius Act and the stable coins. This is a stable coin. And the stable coin goes up with the rise of crypto, and you put your money into this. And then this takes your money and buys government debt. I'm not kidding. I've heard it described as a Hail Mary attempt to keep the government funded through crypto. And they called it the Genius Act. It's like Operation Iraqi Freedom. And so they just name it the opposite of what it is. This is just a roundabout way of getting more dollars in the world soaked up into the US Treasury market so that we can continue to run unsustainable deficits. But the problem is, like, countries are wise. Like, some countries might use this. Some countries, like the African countries that want to dollarize because they don't have a currency, they might put their money in a stable coin. Like, there's a chance there could be something there. But almost everyone else, like a Saudi Arabia or whatever, they want their money to earn a return. And these things give 0% yield. So they'll take their money and they'll put it in something else. They'll put it in gold. They'll put it in currency that's appreciating and not depreciating, like, I don't know, the Swiss franc, or they'll do some kind of RMB bond with China. Like, they're not going to put their money in a goddamn 0% yield stablecoin that just buys treasuries. So I think the Genius Act is pretty stupid, honestly.
There's a House and a Senate controlled by Republicans in part because the crypto super PAC spent so much money to make sure that that happened. There's a lot of momentum for legislation. I think a lot of it is lobbying. I think that...
Has it really paid up? I mean, they spent a ton of money lobbying and getting all the regulation they wanted. And in the end, Bitcoin year to date is down 2%. Over a 1 year period, as in like before Trump got elected till now, it's flat. So all that shit didn't, they dumped a bunch of money Trump milked them dry. Trump pumped and dumped his own meme coin, made a bunch of money, but the crypto industry is not.
Zach Shapiro is a lawyer with a practice dedicated to helping Bitcoin-focused ventures grow their business and navigate regulatory hurdles.
I don't think this is, an explicitly left-right thing, but I think it's no secret that the previous administration took a pretty outwardly hostile approach to the entire sector. And so we did not have a lot of regulatory clarity either from the agencies or from Congress.
Oh, that was like the fucking one economic good thing that Biden did. Was that they cracked down on crypto scams. God damn, I was really supportive of that.
About what the ground rules are. If you don't provide clear rules, it is really, really hard to legally build valuable things. So what is the thing that's
What is
left
the
that's
valuable
legal
thing
to?
that's been
Meme
built?
coins, right? Those are not regulated. Those are jokes. Those are gambling vehicles. And that's what we saw, right? The previous administration did not pave the way for the crypto industry to be able to build a lot of useful stuff. And so we built a lot of frivolous stuff that got a lot of people hurt.
How can you say that? How can you fucking say that? When the first thing this administration did was launch a meme coin, a personal Trump meme coin. And then his wife launched a meme coin, like literally from him.
Thomas opened PubKey to serve as a much-needed physical space for crypto fans to peel themselves off their gamer chairs and exchange ideas IRL. One of those crypto fans? President Donald John Trump, who visited back in 2024,
Oh, damn, he went to
immediately
PubKey?
becoming the first president to ever pay for burgers with Bitcoin. Suck it, Eisenhower.
We were not the first person or the first company to accept Bitcoin, but you're starting to see more use as it continues to
Dude,
gain
are you
relevance,
really?
legitimacy.
I'm
People
being serious.
understand it better, become more comfortable.
There's been more people speculating with Bitcoin. There's been more people investing with Bitcoin. Big banks have warmed up to it and put it in asset packages you can invest in. But I have not seen any adoption in any real markets of like you can buy or sell things with it. Not one. It's not useful for that.
Through the hardened blue eyes of my investigative face, I could tell that the opinions of Thomas and
There was
Zach
that pizza?
were
True.
crossing streams. Both gentlemen see the mainstream financial system as a hodgepodge of inefficiencies that have been slapped together haphazardly over decades, where you need a broker to do investments, a huge company to handle your financial transactions, another team to fundraise your business, and a whole band of Korean gangsters to
Dude, this is what Bitcoin is now. Like, even if you believe in the soulful mission of Bitcoin to decentralize finance and get out from a central bank, it has been 100% co-opted. Bitcoin now is invested primarily through like ETFs and like there's a middleman of a large bank. That's why people buy Bitcoin now, because it's more convenient. So it's people are holding it through intermediaries. Nobody has not nobody, but most people don't have a cold wallet. So the idea, it's been 100% co-opted, and now it's just an asset. It's just like a tokenized asset that people speculate and gamble on. It's not some way of opting out of the system.
I really think that we're kind of bear hugging crypto and embracing it, bringing it into mainstream payment rails in a way that's probably faster than we have answers. I don't want to just make everything about all of crypto is all a scam all the time. But without taking away from that, it's obvious to anyone who actually looks at the technology and the amount of scams who are cropping up.
Sure. I just want to emphasize that, like, if the main way that most people encounter it is through the 95% of scams, then it's such a poison to whatever benefits technology might theoretically be able to do. Because at the end of the day, financial transactions rely on one thing most of all, which is trust. Trust is like the deep bedrock of all of this. People at the end of the day want trust more than anything for their money. It's like, I can't hand wave those away and say that, well, those are just the meme coins. I think that is like a deep, fundamental trust eroder for this thing's capability to be useful to anyone regular.
Like the simplest and I think most honest reason why you might invest in cryptocurrency, if this is the future of money, then it would be incredibly valuable, right? Like the future of money, that's like a lot of money. So if there's even like a very small chance that this is the future of money, that chance is valuable now.
Your move, Juggalos.
Yeah.
For good work, I'm Dan
That
Toomey.
is the honest
And
reason
absolutely
why
no-
most people invest, is they think they can make the line will go up. Interesting vid for sure. There's one more part.
There's also this thing that in crypto they call a wrench attack. And what that means is that a bad guy hears you got some crypto, comes and hits you on the head with a wrench until you give him the password.
Oh, so the term is actually just for being beaten with a wrench.
Yes. People are getting kidnapped in an attempt to get them to turn over their crypto passwords. One crypto executive had a finger cut off. And in a world where we all kept all of our money on our phone, like this would become a bigger and bigger problem.
I mean, it's the problem with like smart contracts and everything. Without the middleman, without the government, without the middleman, there's no one to enforce your smart contract. The system is the way it is for a reason. And while you can improve it, the idea that you don't need it, like the idea that if I exchange blockchain information that allowed me to buy this house and then I show up and you don't leave, what the fuck do I do? I paid you the money. You gave me the digital deed. What do I do about it? Well, there has to be a record or a transaction at a bank that can go up to a judge, that can go up to a police force, that can get you out.